in one ability, she can either take the creep or dispel you. She can take Beastmaster's creep or dispel Necro's Ghost Shrouds. And because of that, these two heroes are banned out. In the last game, by the way, Necro and Pugna both were banned out and both suffer in the same exact way versus Enchantress. I guess Secret really doesn't want to play against those. They did lose to OG playing those heroes. So
continue to respect it, right? It makes sense. You've got the advantage. Don't give them any little advantage that could make sure you pay the price in this next game.
I think it's telling that OG ban out all support heroes here. Because to me, for the last couple of years, Secret and their identity have been formed around their two supports. I think Puppy and Yapzor oftentimes would have more net worth than pretty much any other duo on average.
Oh, wow.
And they have one of the more
that's mostly in Yapzor, though, right?
Sure. Well, Puppy's no slouch. He ended that last game with Greaves and Vlad's. Like, he definitely gets his own items. So
we have very similar bans, by the way, in this game as well. Kotl in the last ban, too. All right, so what do we have? We have the Grimstroke. We have
Shadow Demon.
Oh, yeah, actually, Shadow Demon going through.
Oh, it's made it. So we've seen that first picked earlier today as well.
Yeah, first banned in the last game.
Yeah.
And there we go. Shadow Demon is.
Boom, boom.
Now, I've always liked picking a hero that can overlap the disruption against the SD, but the hero's just changed so much. He's far more picked for his offensive power. The disrupt save is kind of a bonus. But the Purge is just so good on the ultimate. It's such an incredible spell.
Are you answering this with an Oracle now if you're playing against an SD? That Oracle pretty much always comes in handy. It's kind of a double-edged sword. Like in the laning stage, it's really good versus you. Later on, it's good.
There's a Chen, though. There's a Chen and still a Wisp. I wouldn't be surprised to see OG pull something like that out.
All right, Grimstroke instead.
You called that earlier, yep.
Probably just standard. Pango's still in the pool, but I think you just want to pick some standard stun. Have a nice, just pick your combo, whether it's your off lane or your carry. This is tough though, because right now, I mean, we just had a roster swap, so I have no clue what OG is going to be looking to do. I don't know who's set up to play what role, let alone who's going to play what where.
Well, also very interesting so far, Mars isn't banned out, by the way. And
oh, again, you said that last one, yeah.
It's very valued by many teams at the moment. That Phoenix as well completely went unnoticed in the last match.
It's interesting, right, the differences we're seeing in these picks between the different levels of teams, like you guys were explaining to me, because Mars we've been seeing picked pretty much across every other series.
It's the meta game, right? It's constantly evolving. These teams are adapting. If you just look 7 days ago when they were playing DSL1, the draft would be different. You would see a Bristle in the first stage, and then teams would answer to the answer of that Bristle, right? And now it went so deep that it's not even banned out.
We should have seen these coming, right? The spirits are still in the pool.
Yeah.
Well, these teams, they've got to read on what is good, right? And the thing that I love about the hero pools for these sides is you notice like all the heroes we keep mentioning, they're always in the ban or pick pools. Yeah. It's partially because the skill cap, the difference between these heroes played at 90% and 100% is so it's so large, and the elite, like transcendent players, I'll use the term, and can just get more out of them than anyone else.
And a hero such as Ember, you can pick it in the first stage and he is going to do work. You can't counter him. You can't just shut that hero down. Long time ago, perhaps, if you play Ember exclusively mid, some teams would pick up that silencer, like Iceberg is playing it right now, and just crush his laning stage, make him suffer afterwards. But that's just not the case anymore. You can play the Flame Guard, you can play the Searing Chains. There are different ways to lane. There are different ways to choose different skills. It's just a well-rounded hero.
And we're seeing from OG, right, this Void Spirit has become the go-to pick. I think out of the last, yesterday it was picked twice. Now we're seeing it picked straight out here on the both games for them. So this is certainly the comfortable position for them to be in. But how do they respond from here?
That's a great question.
The silencer ban, actually. All right.
You kept calling it.
It's... Again, I feel like I've been asking for this hero, and I've seen the scenarios where it'd be good, and I'm just happy to this is another reason it's great to watch these teams, because there's these concepts, they're heroes with what I'll call irreparable or irreplaceable mechanics. Okay? You can't a global silence with any other hero but Silencer. So this would shut down the SD, shuts down the Ember. It forces you to itemize differently. So you don't want to have to deal with that. Straight up. Same way Tusk and Shaker, the only real heroes with mechanics that block off areas, right? That can just straight up create choke points.
All right, that's fairly early to reveal your carry.
Could be support.
It's been a long time. It's been a
I
long
don't think
time
we can see
since
where
I've
this Ricky
seen
is
a
going.
Ricky
It-
support.
It's also OG, so anything's possible
Yeah.
with it, right? Anything's possible.
So
Changes
Ricky
lineups.
used to be a support for, well, not really a long period of time, but he was used as a support. He would go back behind your towers, snipe your couriers. He would still have quite a lot of damage.
Carl's having
in the mid
flashbacks
game.
right now.
It
God.
wasn't a great era to play
I will
Dota
say,
in.
one of the benefits of this courier change, where everybody has a courier, is you can see who the players that always got your courier killed in the past were.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought
It wasn't me.
Yeah, I thought I could do a lot more with my career than I ever could, and my friends just tell me to leave it alone. So, you know, I'm that guy.
So this answer I always like versus the Grimstroke. I'm not necessarily sure how they will combo these two supports. You have the Rubik and the Shadow Demon right now. So basically, Shadow Demon and Rubik can both be played in position 5, but they both also benefit quite a lot from having those items. It's not only about the levels, right?
And I would usually dislike it in this position, but Rubik, another one of those heroes top teams love. Infinite skill cap, and Yapzor is one of the best in the business. And I'll never doubt Secret if they draft Rubik for him, because it just...
One of the main reasons I believe why they pick it is the Grimstroke. The hero just... Every single spell you steal from Grimstroke, you're happy with it.
Yeah.
And it's much stronger in your hands. The Stroke of Fate, for me, is the pretty much most important one to Rubik, because not only do you have Fate Ball, but that Stroke of Fate is instant cast.
Yeah.
The nuke damage from you is really significant with that.
And it's just an immediate, like, 700 burst damage.
Yeah.
Bang.
We'll take that. Yeah, you're not going to complain about
There we
that.
go.
The Phoenix is in.
It's another same sort of story for OG, though, where they've got one of those, like, their draft's fancy. It's fancy schmancy. You don't have any, like, real, other teams will pick, like, okay, Grimstroke, Centaur, Shadow Demon, Centaur. We're going to stun and kill you.
Mars, Phoenix,
Yeah,
right? Like
exactly.
combo.
This is more of a... I don't know how to use any other terminology, but fancy. It's built around positioning, not pure lockdown. They're going to look to outplay you, outposition.
It's way more difficult to play than these combos that we're talking about. That's pretty much what it comes down.
And is this putting it bigger risk now for OG in that sense? Despite, yes, I know how capable they are and how good they are, but you're going up against a team who can fight you. They're on an even par, right? So it does put that nervous thought in my head.
That one hero that Map2 played recently was Terrorblade. Grimstroke, yeah, he can deal with your illusions. Phoenix is sort of decent in the laning stage. All right, forget about that hero. It's the PA that they go for. That's also something that they picked. It was versus the Alliance, right?
It's really nice
no,
against
not Alliance.
Grimstroke and Riki, because Riki can really just never buy an MKB. It's just, if you get it, it's third item, and by then, it's a totally different game. And Void Spirit also has difficulties with the PA, because she just hops on top of you constantly. And with the Ember Spirit, you have so much dive potential. I will say the Secret lineup's also
very wonky too.
Yeah,
it's very, very
vulnerable. It's squishy.
So have they both been thrown off their game in a sense through this draft?
Like with this PA pick, I even think that OG's lineup might even be a little bit easier to execute overall. Like both of these lineups are very flashy, super high skill cap, and will be super enjoyable to watch. You don't see these clear combos by both of these teams. Of course, there's Grimstroke, Riki in the laning stage. It's pretty solid. But
this is more of an overthrow lineup for Secret, it feels. No real tower push. They're just looking to pretty much...
The same on the other side, though.
Yeah.
Pretty much same.
It'll all come down to the finisher, and that's something both these teams are pretty adequate at. Status. Secret, I'd like to see them with some method of killing towers and a team fighter. Magnus is a possibility. I'm not a huge fan of it against OG's lineup, but I mean, you have Ember PA. It's never a bad choice. Alternatively, you go for more
it
catch.
would be a Seb playing it, which would be... Sorry. Yeah.
You mean Zai?
Yeah, Zai. So it would be pretty good.
We're having roster changes mid-game.
Yeah.
It's
This one
acceptable.
is also pretty
Yeah,
solid.
it's same concept, right? It's a damage amplifier. So
Amplify
it's-
these two cores that are really benefiting a lot.
I like this probably a bit more than Magnus, actually, because you can lane very well against the Riki, and you provide amp damage plus the true sight. So if you amp the Riki, he can no longer play that annoying in and out game. Suddenly he's susceptible to being pounced on by the PA and two-shot.
The
So what do you think,
control
OG?
that you bring to the game is pretty good.
What do you think OG is going to look for now then? What can give them more of a well-rounded chance here?
They're finishing the draft with what? Their offlane as well, right? The Void Spirit should be their mid, I suppose.
Yeah. could go for a troll here.
Yeah.
It does fit, right? Because you could lane it versus Lardar, but it makes your lanes a little wonkier.
Yeah, OG is one of the few teams that I've seen. They would like troll, whether it's a 1 or a 2. They're like the first team that really innovated with this hero. It's a tough choice because this is Slaughter PA. You know, this was a combo that teams like Nigma were first picking a couple of years ago and even a year ago.
Ooh,
this is nice too. You just effectively absorb that physical damage. The issue now for the secret lineup is that your damage output suddenly just disappeared. And now you have a need for a vessel, so Ember's going to certainly pick one up, and there's this massive team fight potential where a stun into an egg, and all of a sudden your team, like Secret have no real team fight. They're going to get one kill and look for another, whereas now OG, you've got better pushing power, you got better team fight, better pick off theoretically, and the Secret supports look really exposed.
When it comes to Secrets as well, they don't really have a lot to deal with the egg. At the same time, even though they're obviously going to struggle versus Dragon Knight's armor, they do have that Shadow Demon to just cut him in half by using one single spell, so that will come very in handy early on. They have supports that can make early game rotations, so you will be able to get that Dragon Knight with the first Dragon form. But yeah, OG's draft, after all, said and done, I think it's way more solid than in the first game.
I like it. I'm just worried about the ping disadvantage. You're playing on 3 different continents right now, but I'd still lean OG. Yep. It's just got to be careful. Secret might just slaughter you and then run you down.
So if that's the case, given all the things that we know now about this game and how crazy it can be, what are we saying? Which way are we siding?
Yep. I'm gonna go with Team Secret. I just see some mechanics on their side that definitely can be proven crucial versus the Dragon Knight, versus the Riki Secret.
I'm going to stick with OG. I think they got this. They make some magic.
Okay, so you're hoping for a third game. You could be going the other way with it all. It's time to go to Mr. OD Pixel and Fogged once again. Guys, we've had madness with rosters changing mid-game. How much of a difference does it make for you guys?
I mean, yeah, it's quite insane, really. You know, seeing OG change lineup between series, then between games. You know, by the end of this tournament, we're going to have OG turning up with Shawn Michaels on the carry, Trevor Bellman on the mid, Ralph Wiggum on the offlane, Hideo Kojima on the 4, and Lindsay Lohan on the 5. I mean, when does it stop? You know, this get Fogged. What do you expect from this man? What's he going to be able to do? Mid one, he's playing on 200 ping.
And he's the mid.
And he's the mid. And he's playing Void Spirit.
Oh, I don't know, man. I am definitely really excited. OG, I mean, they're all tipping him already. They're like, all right, let's go. We've got, of course, you know, it's mid one playing versus Secret. It's iconic. This should just be fun. This should be a treat. Let's try to forget that he's got, you know, a lot of ping. Let's just see what he can make happen.
He's putting a nice little smiley face there. And he gets a fair few of the tips coming in from all over. But no, definitely entertaining to say the least to see this. But my
keep things entertaining. I think I'm just going to quickly point out one of my favorite things because I saw people talking about it yesterday is look at PA's level 20 talents.
Let me have a look at that. All right, so you get Blightstone.
You get a Blightstone at level 20.
You get a Blightstone, okay. But to be fair, you know, it's still probably kind of good, bro. I mean, what is it? Are you taking the blur evasion? I feel like you aren't, right? It's still minus armor on a PA.
That's why I said let's look at some fun right now.
Yeah.
The talents are pretty funky on that one at level 20, but get the wraparound. The SD's up top.
Now the question is, does Nisha lose mid to mid one playing on 200 ping? I don't think he will, right? If he does, Nisha's, you know, he's having a rough day. I feel like he's playing Ember against the Void. Theoretically, this should be a very hard lane for mid one on ping. And I've also been informed that apparently in Kuala Lumpur, it's 3:30 in the morning at the moment.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's 3:30 a.m.
It is. It's 12-hour difference for me. It's 3:43 in the morning.
3:43. Sorry, it's getting later, earlier. But I guess, you know, these are the gamer hours. This is when people come into their element when they're playing Dota 2. We've all been there, staying up a little too late one night. You know, you got that win streak going. You don't want to let it go.
Yeah, I'm also excited because I've watched a bunch of games where I got to see Grimstroke and Ricky, but I'm gonna actually cast one. So we also are getting to see this one into play, which I thought we were gonna see a lot.
It is,
and I know we did see a lot, but it disappeared when I started casting.
It's a busted duo. Like this laning partnership is. You gotta be careful, right? Sure, Zai's on a Slardar. At least this is a hero that if they do get in on top of him, he's able to slow down a bit of the damage in terms of just crushing the Ricky and making sure that he's not getting hit all the time. But when you get level 3 on this Ricky Grimstroke, like the kill potential is off the charts. Zai's got to be incredibly careful up here.
Yeah, the combo is really cool. I like how Secret did pick a lot of like these reactive heroes, right? They see the Riki and they're like, okay, Slardar looks better because sure, Slardar is a pretty good hero when you have PA anyway, but Corrosive Haze on Riki is phenomenal. They pick Rubik as a response in a way to the Grimstroke, so he can get the better Grimstroke spells too. So some cool preparations. And their heroes also benefit super highly and specifically from if Rubik gets any of those Grimstroke spells, right? Ember, PA, Slardar.
No, there's definitely some lovely things to be had there.
While we see on the OG side, they also react.
Top lane.
OG.
That's your first blood. Lovely little grab there onto N0tail. Steps a bit too far forward. Zai's going to be able to force Sumail to jump back as well. But yeah, N0tail getting a little out of position, and YapzOr and Zai able to run him down. What are we seeing down bottom here? Map2 and Puppey. CS for Mat at the moment, 9 for 1, 11 for 1. Keeping it pretty even between these two. Seb on that DK offlane. Not really a hero that they're going to be able to burst through or tackle. He's going to feel very solid down here, especially being backed up by Saxa. This Phoenix DK dual lane, incredibly robust.
Boring lane. There's a PA and an SD on one side, which are just feeding Magic Stick charges to a DK and a Phoenix. I don't think anyone... I would imagine no one dies down bottom. That's just going to be the farming lane.
No, top lane's where the action
Top's the fun.
As we've seen already, Zai and YapzOr able to make that first strike, but of course we're expecting once the levels are there, OG able to punch back. Nice little play there from YapzOr, is able to time the telekinesis in a way that Sumail is not able to blink strike in and get the use of that ink swell off perfectly. Zai does find an opportunity to run down N0tail, though, yet again. Another bash connects, and it's a second time where N0tail just being caught a little too far forward. He has to be careful. Zai's able to run him down multiple times and just bash him off the game.
That's a really, I mean, it's just a very strong lane, right? The Riki, or the Slardar as well as the Rubik in comparison. I mean, we did say the Grimstroke as well as the Riki can be strong, but the Grimstroke has to be very careful of his positioning. YapzOr has been already very cautious because he has boots, so he can actually play around it, and he has ways to play around the combo, like you said. He can lift and throw him away at the last second.
And look at this mid lane. You gotta say hats off to Mid1. He's 18-6 against the 20-for-1. He is doing brilliantly in this lane, despite the ping issues. Mid1 showing that to himself, it is no worry whatsoever in this matchup. Where I've seen Void Spirit struggle early on against an Ember, and this is a niche Ember as well. Mid1 showing that his skill is at a level that ping doesn't matter for this man.
And he gets the rune.
Steal the rune into the bottle too. So full up there, 3 charges and an illusion ready to pop. Things just getting better and better for Mid1 in this mid matchup.
And Saxa just sniped bottom courier. He's running toward mid. He did see this courier
he's
too.
Gonna
He's going to try.
He's got it.
He's going to get it.
So things looking up and up for Mid1 in this mid lane. He's already been having a great time. Now Nisha's without a courier. Nisha has got no regen left to get out. He is a level away from the 6. Of course, will be able to make a trip back himself with the use of the remnants. But for this whole level 5, Mid1's going to feel very powerful in this lane.
Yeah, Saxa just acquired his team, 500 gold? 58 and 51. So 100 gold, 109 gold each. Not too shabby. Some quick little rotations from the Phoenix.
Looks like on the side lanes, nobody's really losing out. Everyone's finding farm. I think the biggest surprise is that, for me at least, on these first 5 minutes, OG's not been able to do anything with this duo lane. Zai and YapzOr have just been able to play very smartly and make sure that they're actually the aggressors in most of these situations, finding opportunities to close the gap onto N0tail, and N0tail and Sumail aren't actually able to make plays onto these two.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the mid and the bottom, like we said, were kind of like washes in a way.
Yeah.
Mid, after like the start, you imagine the mid one's going to do pretty well, and bottom, it's just these trade farm. Now Matumba is getting low, though, and
They may
Saxa
get
jumps
Saxa.
forward.
Yeah, he's already used his spells. No dives available. He's tanking the tower. Saxa will go down. The third kill's picked up for Secret. Seb also going to take a few tower hits there. Map2 and Puppey are wanting to stick around in the lane. Tango will be shared over towards Map2. There's no extra regen coming out as of yet, though, so Map2 is going to have to sit around very low whilst he waits for that courier to come out and bring him some more tangos.
And Seb's getting a ton down bottom. We imagined that he would get full free farm, but we didn't get to actually talk too much about the DK and how they came to pick it. You see him and he's playing versus this Slardar and PA, you're imagining, yeah, of course, it's because of that high armor. He's also going to add a good lockdown for his team.
He's in with the gank. He's moved down bottom. He's able to set up for a kill onto Saxa.
Map2 is low as well. He knows that, and Map2
Yeah.
does not have mana for TP.
Map2 played sort of the greedy move. We saw how low he was. He was sitting around. They're looking for him in the trees. Mid-ones are hunting. Map2 keeping himself hidden quite nicely, but mid one, he's persistent and he will find him. Finding Map2 in the trees. Map2's able to jump over. There is an Astral Step and soon to be 2 charges available on mid one. Jumps in with the first one. Destruction will be there, but Map2, he's already going to go down. Mid one with this rotation, securing them 2 kills, maybe even a second one onto Puppey, as Puppey is surrounded by Seb and mid one in the trees. Puppey trying his best with the Jukes. Mid one still got another charge of the step, ready to zip through him, as Puppey will almost certainly fall. Pops the stick charges, it will not save him. Mid one, despite the ping, he played mid perfectly, and
He's
the
lost
rotations,
his tower, though.
they're coming brilliantly. Nisha is able to make the use of the space given, and that is indeed a very early tier 1 tower to be taken just 7 minutes in.
I like his persistence of chasing down bottom, though, but yeah, Nisha, that's what we've seen. That's what the panel talked about, too, is these two teams, if one person's doing one thing, the other team is very likely to not just react to what you're doing, but just make their own move. They always have a lot of different elements that they can trade with. And now the rotation's coming out from Nisha, which is a little bit more natural for him right after the tower.
Oh.
Catches Saksa with the chains that he levels up.
Saksa, he's got to be burning down. Another remnant from Nisha finishes the job. It's by the tier 2, but there's no reaction from OG in an attempt to catch him and turn it around. Top lane, Sumail and Hotel were able to find that pick off onto Zai. The combo finally strong enough, and now with the 6 as well, Sumail ready to play a little more aggressive, knowing that he can rely on the invis to fade out if they do try and turn upon him. The same to be said though, Zai, obviously once he has his 6, Sumail does have to be very wary, and there's going to be that timing this game is jump out from mid one. He's able to casually walk away from the 3-man move. They won't be able to catch this Void Spirit.
He kind of has to just move around a lot, though, as we do expect from Void Spirits anyway. But he just doesn't have a mid. He doesn't have a mid tower like this early on, so it's kind of difficult for him because he just has to make these moves, and it should be pretty readable, at least by Secret, to know that those movements are happening.
It's good for Map2. TP's coming in. Map2 won't walk into the Remnant. Double TPs. Both Puppey and Nisha turning up. Mid one's got to be careful. He's going to keep himself hidden in the trees. The Spirit's out to Map2, putting him off any sort of idea of diving in for this. No-Tail's also around to back up the cause of OG. Nisha steps forward. A little hard for both teams to get a bite on one another. Maybe if Nisha can find the change, they can go. Nisha still wanting to play aggressive with this Arcane Rune. Daggering onto Seb. Still got a bit of a duration left on the Dragon Form. Nisha getting caught by the Remnant. Drop back, but the defensive disruption keeps him safe. And now with the numbers, Secret are able to overrun OG. They move over towards No-Tail. Now they turn their attention towards mid one. Nisha, he's got the chains back up. The remainder of that Arcane Rune really paying off for him. As mid one still trying to run. Nisha's been able to bring him low. Map2 committing with the dagger. Over he goes with the Dissimulate. Mid one goes in aggressively, but he's straight into a chain. Map2's able to turn and crit him down, but Map2 will fall for his efforts, and Puppey also ticks down to the damage of the Dragon Form from Seb. Nisha hiding in the trees. Sumail, has he got the damage to take him? Chains will stop Sumail from jumping around any further, but the vision's there from that ward. He's able to close the gap. Nisha throwing down a Remnant to jump over. If Seb can find the brief eye, it should bring him down, and it will. Seb's able to get the angle. They do kill off Nisha's Ember Spirit, and they should be able to finish off this tier 1 bot.
They brought the numbers. Even Sumail made the rotation down bottom to help out his friends and end up getting that kill. I think without him, there's no way they get that kill on Nisha. Nisha was able to play very aggressively. I think Zai opted to not move because he just... I think I saw him TP then cancel, maybe? Or did he... I'm not sure. I know his TP was on cooldown afterwards, but he was just farming up top. But OG, yeah, persistence, bringing more heroes, and they do get that. And they will get the tower finally.
We'll see. Zai obviously getting some decent space to farm up. What, is he just going to be looking to rush a blink this game on the Slardar?
Not too sure. Probably not sure. I think Boxy's the one that I've seen play it the most, and he still does blink agonyms for the most part, right?
They do. I mean, I guess they do have other ways to set up the fight if he does want to go for some sort of aura build first. Both sort of the Ember, Rubik, the Shadow Demon, multiple ways to sort of initiate.
Yeah, not too sure just yet. He's actually got a faded brooch coming out for himself too for the Slaughter, so that's pretty nice.
Very nice, yeah.
Needs the mana for the sprint now, of course, because it costs that and just that little bit more movement speed. He's level 6 now too, so Sumail has to be careful when he shows face.
Yeah, he does. You can see already just jumping around, a little wary of giving Zai the opportunity to go for that corrosive haze. They're actually going to try and jump in onto Zai, and despite Zai having the backup, Zai's in trouble. A disruption comes into play, but he's been surrounded. Zai gets one further crush up, but he falls. Secret unable to help him. Puppey has to bail, and so does Yapsor. Despite trying to set up there with their two supports, OG were prepared, and Sumail's able to make the jump onto Zai before Secret can make a move themselves.
The power of the combo. I love it. I really love seeing this Ricky Grimstroke.
It's very, very hard to play against because there's just very little you can do. Just sort of the range that Sumail's able to blink strike in safety, and usually from Invis. You know, we're sort of the counterplay. The only thing they have to offer is Puppey being in place to buy some time for someone with the disruption. But we're seeing even that it's not enough to save you from being caught by this jump in mid lane.
Nisha?
Everyone finds some setup, but that and the Dragon Tail stun won't be enough to hold Nisha down. 12-minute runes up. Mid-one's already been able to get in place to bottle it up. Nisha coming in. Slight fist onto Seb, but still this DK with the 3 points of the Dragon's Blood. Too tanky to deal with. They don't want to commit anything further onto Seb, and the most important thing right now for Secret is that Map2 is able to find that Deso as quick as possible. And likewise for OG, making sure that Sumail gets a good timing on his Diffusal Blade. They're going to get Sumail involved.
There's a nice wrap around here that they're doing. Who are they going to find? It's going to just be Puppey.
Yeah, that's the easy one to find. Disruption buys him a little bit of time, but a quick nuke from both Mid-1 and No-Tail finishes off the kill.
I like that approach they take, because they know they can't just like walk up to the tier 1 mid as it's full HP untouched so far. I just bit my tongue. It's so hard. Oh my god, ow. They make that aggressive move to try to get some wards and catch somebody. I'm sorry, that really hurt. And yeah, now they get a little bit of pressure down bottom, and they scare Map2 is the biggest thing. He has to back up and hide in the trees.
I'll see mid. Looks like we're going to see another bit of action here. Nisha. Remnant will grab him. Mid-1's able to find that angle. Nisha does still have Remnants to play with. He jumps over. You see Mid-1, they're trying to predict where Nisha was to head to. Nisha's still alive, but Puppey will fall. Again, OG, they are keeping the aggression very, very high at the moment, and will be able to continue to take this tier 1 tower down bottom. Space does continue to be there on the side lanes for Zai, and on the bottom lane, Map2 was able to start finding some farm, but Sumail shows himself, and still both of these carries closing in very good timing on these all-important items, the Diffusal and the Desolator.
He's so scared bottom. Like, look at Matumba's positioning this whole time because of the way OG approached these last few moments, this last like 2 minutes, the way they went into the enemy jungle. You could expect there may be a ward somewhere around there, and then they just went straight for the mid tower, but he still didn't see the Ricky, and he still hadn't seen No-Tail for some time, so he knows that there's just a chance of that Inkswalk combo. Has to be cautious.
OG sweeping over the mid lane. We have seen the last few times they have struggled to make a jump onto Nisha. Until they start getting points in the smoke screen on Ricky, it is unlikely that the Dragon Tail stun's going to be enough to hold him in. They do find Yapsor.
Very quick blink there.
More here.
That was very nice by Seb.
In Secret, they're staying on the high ground, seeing if they can maybe fight into this, but OG with the numbers, Secret aren't interested. They'll back off. They do not want to try and fight OG here, as OG will be able to sweep up top, try and take this tier 1 tower. Map2, about 1,000 gold away from the Deso. And again, he's playing it very smartly, Map2. Anytime that he is aware of OG being on the hunt for him, he makes sure that he's not getting caught out. Mid lane.
Playing versus very high armor heroes, though, as we have mentioned. Sure, there's going to be that Corrosive Haze that'll buff him up by a lot, but Ricky has one of the higher armors in the game, and then DK as well. Ricky has one of the agility heroes, has one of the highest armors, and then DK as well. So they're still going to be very innately tanky, even when he does get that with the Corrosive Haze. And OG, they're pressing their advantage very well right now. We look at their lineup, and they have just better team fight overall, and just better ways to control inside of the fights. So they're just, continuing to put the pressure onto Secret. Don't let this PA get the space, because you know the PA's not fighting.
No, not at all. Not until that item's done. Map2's got no interest. And even then, without the BKB, things are quite scary for him. OG, lots of means to deal with the PA. Between their elements of crowd control and, of course, the spirits from the Phoenix,
Sumail.
Always an issue.
They're trying for him down bottom. They've got the dust.
And he is alone. They are TPing over towards the outpost, OG, to try and help out. You are seeing, indeed, as you say, that high armor on the Ricky come into play there, giving him extra time to jump around and juke them out. And Sumail, he's actually been able to run away by the looks of it. Now the time has been there for Notel and Mid1 to turn up. They're in with the soul band. They're going to be able to turn it. OG turn it around. Mid1 picks up the double kill. They just couldn't kill Sumail. And yeah, you really did say, this Ricky sits on 15 armor. Yeah, at the 16 minutes in, he really does have that much physical damage reduction.
Yep. He does not he does not really care when he gets corrosive hazed. It's sure when you get like later on it'll start adding up, but he also gets crazy more armor. Like it's just going to continue growing like that anyway. And yeah, OG just keeps dictating the pace of the game. 6-14. Secret are going to, I mean, they need just a lot more time for Matumba, but they need also to get this Blink Dagger on Zai so they can make these plays, if they want to, easier.
And they do have that defusal done for Sumail. See what they get the lead in here. This initiation onto Seb. And it's going to be attempted. Mid1's already coming in from the side. They get the stun onto Notel, but Notel's fine. Chains out both onto Seb and Mid1. They lead forward, but Seb turns with the Dragon Tail onto Nisha. Zai jumps forward. The Supernova out as well on the high ground. It's a great positioning. It's going to force Secret to think twice about trying to fight this. The Supernova stun eclipse both Nisha and Puppey, allowing Sumail to jump over towards the Shadow Demon, over towards the Ember. There's 3 dead, 4 dead on Secret. An excellent hold there from OG as they stand strong, take the fight. Saxa finding an excellent position for that Supernova up on the high ground where Secret, they just didn't have an answer to it. They could not get in position to deal with it, and the decision to retreat, it came all but too late.
They just don't have the damage or the fighting power at all to just take it to OG. Like, even when they have number advantage to try to catch these heroes, OG's heroes are just a bit too tanky, and backup arrives too quickly. Saxa had, like, just absolutely perfect positioning there on the high ground. Hits 2 heroes with the stun, hits them with the majority of the damage too. He's gonna have a Spirit Vessel already finished. This is looking like a very, very tall mountain for Secret to climb.
Oh, and honestly, like Mid1, we talked about itemization on the Void Spirit last game. I said I like the Blade Bell into the Ags. This game, Mid1, he's going to go straight for the Aghanims, and this is fantastic because you look at the heroes on Secret, and you know what Mid1's done. He's obviously seen this Ember. He sees he has the Javelin. He knows he's obviously going to have to commit for the Maelstrom first before he has any sort of defensive capabilities. So getting this double charge of silence online this early because of how fast Mid1's been able to find the gold, an 18-minute Aghanims, they just don't have anywhere near close to the items to deal with this amount of silence. Both this Ember Spirit and the PA, for that matter of fact, are going to get destroyed by these resonant pulses.
Yeah, for sure. And it makes him even like another, sure, he doesn't have the highest armor as a Void Spirit. It's not bad as for this hero, but now he's got more damage mitigation. Your base shield absorb, you got double absorbs, high burst damage, double silences. Yeah, it's going to be really solid. And they've got an arcane rune now, so he's looking to get aggressive. Doesn't cast the silence on Nisha that time.
Yeah, it was just a little slow. Nisha was able to duke it out.
But Zai's been forced to go for a drum now too. He had the blink queued up, and they're feeling like they need to be able to do something to respond. But I mean, OG's just running them over.
Yeah, the OG's lineup is just so deadly right now. Secret cannot afford to fight them. Both Ricky and Void Spirit just being able to close the gap and use this Ink Swell so offensively. And mid lane, Seb has found the lead in for another free kill onto Yapzor. The catch is there. OG, they're playing so fast right now. It's 20-6, a 7k lead. Now, Mid1, honestly, we really cannot commend the man enough here. Playing on ping, he's 5-1-10, and his Void Spirit performance so far, it's been brilliant.
Yeah, it's been absolutely dominant. Even though he lost his mid tower so early, his movement down bottom actually kind of secured and set up all this in motion of giving Seb such a good game too, to get such an early blink, and he's made a lot of plays out of it too. So yeah, it's been a lot of good teamwork coming out of OG. It might lose Noto, Nisha, getting aggressive.
Yeah, he can't quite commit for Saxa, knowing that Saxa has the Supernova. So we'll let Saxa be. Mid lane, Zai trying to hold on to this tier 2. Pushing the 2 of them back.
I don't know how Secret can just take any actual just big team fights though, because they don't have any real team fight on their lineup. And OG, they have pretty decent one. Like the Phoenix is the majority of it, but besides that, it's pretty damn good in comparison. Secret just very single target oriented.
Let's see what they can catch. The smoke does dispel it. In fact, there's going to be the quick jump from Seb. He's instantly in onto Nisha. Nisha wasn't ready, and Nisha is dead. The Supernova will get popped. There'll be a buyback for Nisha because his team, they need it. Zai, he's trying to fight up against Mid1 and Seb in the river. Sumail has been found, but a jump back to safety. Sumail will get out of there, but Zai, he finds the opportunity to get in with a corrosive phase and to set up for Sumail to go down. They'll turn their attention over towards Seb. This buyback for Nisha allowing them to join forces and move back in. But Nisha, he's got to be careful. He's been soulbound. Have they got the silence follow-up? They have. The silence is there onto the two of them. Mid1, he's going to have an issue at the pulse in a couple of seconds. They've got to be prepared for this silence. Dissimulate into the resonant pulse. He's silenced yet again. The remnant pulls him in. Mid1, this man's insane. He's got himself a triple. He's over towards Puppy. Puppy is getting smashed. Mid1 hits back at Secret. It's an ultra kill for the man playing on 200 ping. And I can't quite believe this. 10, 1, and 11. Honestly, what the hell were OG not doing, not playing with this man? Who gives a shit about the ping when he can play this damn good on it?
I mean, now they're probably looking at the clock and they're like, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, but sorry, Midwin, like, you did pretty good here.
I mean, I think,
he's really owning, actually.
No,
just
well, I think
every single play.
We're going to see, sort of after everything sort of blows over and we get back to normal lives. OG, they're going to boot camp with everybody sort of in Europe, but Mid1, they're going to say, can you stay over in Malaysia? And we're going to boot camp when it's 4 a.m. because apparently that's the prime time for Mid1. This is the sort of the situation where Mid1 starts to make the magic happen.
I mean, this is probably his 30th game of Dota of the day, so he's all warmed up.
I guess that's true. No, he's putting on quite a show here.
Yeah, and I like the animation too. This game too, just like we said, that straight aghanims is just so damn potent.
It just ruins certain lineups because, as I say, you're just not itemized to deal with this amount of silence this early on as the enemy side. No one's going to have a BKB. No one's going to have a Yule Scepter. You've got nothing to remove it. Your only safe players, again, the disruption, but that's just not really a save because most of the time, Puppy, he's in range of the Resonant Pulse. You've got to remember, this Resonant Pulse, it covers a huge area.
500. It's actually it's super big. Secret are all smoked up, but it still isn't like taking a straight up fight. It just seems so damn hard as we've been seeing over and over again. And now Sox is also even level 12.
I'll take him, Rush. It's 26-9. It's a 10k lead for OG. Hitting back hard here in this game too after a bit of a rough end to game 1. But the roster change up and the change of strats, it's working perfectly here as now it's really on Secret to try and turn this one around, and I don't know what they're going to be looking towards to be able to do that. Map2, obviously after that Deso, he's still trying to get his BKB done. I imagine, does he have the, he has got the recipe, right? Okay, yeah. He's managed to get it. I think
he's got the whole thing, right?
Yeah, so now at least he can worry less about the silence. He can pop that BKB, try and commit for maybe one of the supports on the back. As you said yourself already, the cores aren't necessarily an option, even with the Deso and the Corrosive Haze. You're not going to be able to BKB and guarantee a kill on them in the middle of a team fight. So it is hard for Matu.
I'm just looking more at PA's talents, and PA's talents just look quite rubbish in general now. Just looking at all 8 of them, right?
You're not wrong. 12 damage.
I mean, triple stifling is still pretty up, but look, 12 damage, a 20% cleave. They all look quite nasty now.
I mean, I think it's kind of deserved. PA was pretty good before the patch,
Yeah.
There was certain regions that were, this hero was sort of a free win a lot of the times when you grabbed it in the safe lane.
Yeah, but I'm impressed how much he's been able to keep up so far in this game, though. He's still like pretty much top of net worth with the DK. I'm very impressed for him.
Puppy, he's moving in on this. Seb's going to be able to jump over him, turn towards Zai with the Dragon Tails. Done the Supernova's out. Zai's got to run, but the Diffuser Blade slowing down. Zai will fall as well. Double kill for Sumail. OG just continuing the slaughter. As they are crushing Secret here in this game too.
Yeah, they're all sticking together, and as I was talking before, I do not see a way that Secret can win a 5v5 fight when you're playing versus this ever. Like their lineup just can't do it until way later if they've got more space and more items. Just the powers of their heroes that OG has with the Phoenix to the DK.
No, and I just opened up the console as well, just to check the ping. But no, it's 196 ping. He's on Mid1. We're not fooling around here, and neither's Mid1. Showing that it really doesn't matter. Honestly, if anyone ever uses the ping argument for playing badly in the future, we're just going to reference them this game and say, look at this. Ping doesn't mean anything, at least for Mid1. Maybe Mid1's just a guy.
Maybe Mid1's I think he's just
that's also very likely.
He's fueled by the ping, if anything.
Oh, yeah. You see on the mid, they get the silence onto Nisha. Still able to make the jump out. Secret will be able to retreat to the high ground.
They're just staying right outside the base though for the moment. Looks like they're backing up, checking some runes really quickly on both Saksa and Sumail, but they're keeping them contained. Don't let them get any type of space and for this PA to get any farm, because he's really the only one who is farmed. Nisha is starting to look for a place to get a little bit. He's going up toward top to push it in even more. But OG is limiting a lot by what they're doing right now, just sitting in the mid. They're blocking all avenues of farm from Secret.
Yeah, he cannot turn up to these fights without Yules, Nisha. It's just too many silences to deal with.
Yeah, but even then, it's like, he drops down, he might just get hit by another one immediately. It's a bit of a scary one. It feels like this might have... I don't want to say that he had to go for like BKB next item because it's too expensive. I feel like this probably was his best option, just some small type of way to protect himself. Because he also just has to he has to watch out of a lot of things too, right? It's not just the silence. It's a Ricky Cloud, it's a DK stun. There's a lot of other elements that he does have to be very wary of.
I think if anything, he's just not getting the BKB now because he realizes he's going to need both. He's going to have to go for the BKB after the Yules. But of course, that still doesn't feel great. Mid lane, he just walks in straight into a smoke screen. Nisha's just been locked down. There's no way to play out of this one. The Supernova's out. Sep doesn't get focused by Map2. Map2 commits with the BKB. Will be able to bring down the DK. So Map2 able to finally use his power to take down one of the cores of OG, and that will put OG off from pushing for more. Still, though, the items continue to fly out thick and fast for OG. Mid one has a completed Desolator on its way out, on top of the Aghanim's and that casual plate mail that he picked up on the way to make sure that he is also a very tanky hero. As maybe not tanky enough, though. Mid one using the Remnant as well to try and put the PA off from jumping for more. As Matu's got to be careful. Hasn't got his BKB available for 30 seconds. They turn with the sun round to Puppey. Throws the dagger back onto Sumail. Mid one. He's committing in for this. He's playing aggro. He wants to use this Aegis. Does get it popped. They kill off Sai. Matu has to jump up to the high ground. Mid one. He's ready to dive for more. He's able to get in. Slides in with the Astro Step. Pulls Puppey back in with the Remnant. Not quite enough burst to kill Puppey. Puppey will live this time.
Okay, Secret punching back a little bit. Who got the majority of the gold there? I did see it was a buyback, and okay. It looks like the hero that was supposed to, at least for the side of Secret. Matumba does end up getting a little bit for himself there. Cost them the buyback, but it's really all about the PA at this point. At least for them.
He's their damage dealer.
Still a long and tall mountain to climb continuously. They're gonna chase more though. There's Ricky's still dead. But they get dissuaded.
Seb, he's going to start punching back. And Sai, for his efforts, he's going to pay with his life. Sai will fall. Matu's trying to go for the BKB. He's in onto Mid1, but Mid1's still got to dissimulate. Jumps over to the side. He's also got an Astro Step charge. Good to go. He's out of there. They turn with the Soulbind, and Matu's trying to come over this BKB onto the Dragonite. But the BKB ends, and Mid1, he instantly has the control in place. The Ether Remnant was already laid down, so as soon as the PA came out of the BKB, Matu got pulled aside by it. It's 4 dead on Secret. Yet again, OG, they're just winning every single team fight right now. Mid1 is 13-1 and 15. This game just continues to get better and better for OG.
Yeah, and that was a fight where Seb was probably just like, oh, this is yeah, look at the taunt. He's just like, I have a Lotus Orb, and I mean, he didn't have the Halberd finish, but he's a DK, and he was the one getting the brunt of the force there as they're chasing. It was a perfect setup for the supports to just get everything off on them, as well as mid one. Now they can go toward that mid, and that's a big. That's probably the nail in the coffin for this one.
I don't see anywhere the Secret turn this one. I think, if anything, just out of respect to the mid-one plays this game, you sort of just tap out. You can see there, you say, look, well, you guys got us here in this game too. We're going to have to come back with something different in game 3. As OG, they are certainly doing it here in the second game. These racks proving to be very hard for Secret to defend. They push him off the range racks. Sumail does get corrosive hazed, and with the respawns, OG do respect. I say that mid one he jumped straight back in.
Very mid one-esque right there.
Look at the chains on him. It's a buyback as well from Puppey. They really want to kill off this Void Spirit, but they won't be able to. He's out of there. Far too slippery for them to deal with.
They'll smoke. They'll play it safe just on that buyback. The majority of the damage was done. They didn't get the melee racks, but Secret fully on the defensive, and OG now they can try to reinitiate.
And they certainly can. In they go straight away. BKB pop from Map2, tries to go in for Sumail, but Sumail's able to jump up with the tricks of the trade. Mid1 commits onto the backlines. Mid1's already taken out both supports. He gets out of there. Map2 tries to commit, but the Halberd comes in. He's been disarmed. He's got to get out. The Supernova's burning down. They'll tap it out. This game is over. GG is called. OG are going to be the ones to take game 2, with Mid1 turning up 16-1-15 on the mid Void Spirit, despite playing on 200 ping at 4 a.m. in the morning.